I'm Harper Reed, 33, just promoted to VP of Cybersecurity at a fintech unicorn in Austin. I left my parents sagging double wide at 17 with a laptop, a scholarship, and a bone-deep certainty that love shouldn't come with invoices. Tina and Ray Reed never noticed I was gone. They were too busy noticing I was finally worth something. That night they arrived in the same clothes they wore to my high school graduation, the one they threatened to skip unless I paid for their gas. They kicked off muddy boots, cracked open my beer, and laid out the new math. 60% of my salary, auto-drafted, starting now. Because family Harper. Because we sacrificed. Because they'd already spent my raise on a cruise deposit and a new flat screen. I didn't argue. I simply handed them the folder I'd kept in my safe since age 29. Inside, a bulletproof post-nuptial financial separation agreement they'd both signed 6 years ago when they begged me to co-sign their last bankruptcy refinance. Page 4, highlighted in calm, merciless yellow. Tina and Ray Reed irrevocably waive any present or future claim to the income, assets, or inheritance of Harper Reed. Their own signatures sat beneath the notary's seal like guilty fingerprints. Ray's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Goldfish energy. Tina's fake tears dried mid-cheek. This was for the house, she squeaked. It was for your silence, I answered. And it's recorded in Travis County. Ray tried the old growl. You can't just. I already did. I tapped the second document. The fraud complaint I'd filed that morning when I discovered the forged promise of support texts they'd submitted to a lawyer. Same area code, 1 digit off. Amateur hour. Right on cue, my doorbell rang. 2 short, 1 long. My attorney Marisol and a deputy stepped inside carrying fresh paperwork that smelled like consequences. Marisol's smile could freeze lava. Evening, folks. You're being served for attempted extortion, forgery, and filing a fraudulent dependent claim. Tina actually dropped her phone. Ray aged a decade in 4 seconds. The deputy handed over the summons. Hearings in 11 days. Don't miss it. 11 days later, the courtroom smelled like fear and cheap coffee. My parents sat in wrinkled Walmart suits, looking smaller than I remembered. Marisol laid out the forged texts, the fake medical bills, the bankruptcy they'd hidden from me while demanding my money. The judge barely looked up. Case dismissed. $18,000 sanctions for fraudulent filing. No contact order granted. Next time it's criminal court. Tina sobbed into a tissue that was mostly mascara. Ray stared at his shoes like they might apologize for him. I walked out into Texas sunshine that felt like freedom with interest. 2 weeks later, I moved into a downtown loft with floor-to-ceiling windows and 0 family group chats. I bought a couch no one else has ever spilled beer on. My phone finally learned what silence feels like. Some nights I pour a drink I actually ordered, sit on my balcony, and watch the skyline blink back at me. No guilt, no demands, just the quiet hum of a life that's 100% mine. If you've ever handed your parents the contract they forgot they signed and watched their whole scam collapse, I brought the folder below. We're out here cashing our own checks, and the peace is the best raise I've ever gotten.